In this lesson, we want to talk about converting between mixed and improper fractions. So with fractions, there's some important stuff. Anytime you have a fraction, you have a numerator, and that's the top number, divided by the denominator, and that is the bottom one. The numerator kind of tells us how many we have. So how many parts we have. And the denominator, you can kind of think of it as how many parts make a whole. So this will make a little bit more sense as we continue to work here. But I want to just draw here pictorially really quick. Let's pretend we've got a few pizzas here. Pizzas. My pizzas got 4 slices. So I've got some pizza there, and then in this one I'm going to just say I have these guys. This has been eaten. So an example here for mixed and improper. There's 4 parts that make up the whole here. So our denominator would be 4. Now if we look at our fraction here, this one has 2 of the 4 left. These blank ones here are gone. So this is 2 parts of the whole thing, the whole 4. So this is a fraction. Now if I say, okay, I've got these also, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. If I wanted to make this picture here an improper fraction, it's 10/4. So we're just saying how many parts we have and how many make up a whole. Now a lot of times if we have something like 10/4, we'd reduce that by dividing the top and bottom number by something, 2 in this case. And there would be 5 halves. Now if someone told you they had 5 halves pizzas, you'd be like, what in the world does that mean? Well really what that means, you have a pizza here, and another one. And so this is kind of the improper, this right here is the improper, but we're used to thinking a lot more like a mixed number. And so the mixed number version would be most likely what you'd say. You've got 2 pizzas and you've got a half of one. So 2.5 pizzas. So our mixed numbers, we're going to figure out how many wholes we have and how many parts. So some examples here, like this one, the 2.5 is a mixed number. And its corresponding improper fraction was this picture here, where we had 5 halves. So a mixed number, you're going to have how many wholes plus your fraction. And the improper, you're just going to figure out how many parts you have over how many make up a whole. So this will make a little bit more sense as we continue working. So in example 1, it says write 3.5 as an improper fraction. So I'm going to draw a picture of this just as an illustration, kind of like I did up above. I'm going to go with circles, kind of, my best impression. So I've got 3, and then I've got a half, and I'll just highlight those. There's 1, 2, 3, and a half. So if I go back, my improper fraction is going to be in terms of halves. I've got to break all these up into halves. And now I have to figure out how many halves I have. So I've got 1, 2 in the first whole one, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've got 7 halves. So if I'm going to make it an improper fraction, I've got 7 parts, and 2 of them make up the whole. So it's 7 halves. Now this is doing it pictorially. Another way you can think about it is I've got 3.5. This number on the bottom here tells me how many parts make up a whole. So I've got 3 whole ones, and each whole has 2 pieces in it. So I can go 3 times 2 to figure out how many halves are in the first 3. That gets me 6. Now I have 1 from here. So if I'm looking at how many fractional pieces I have, how many parts, I've got 6 plus 1 total, 7, and I've got 7 halves. So you can kind of see there's a mathematical way you can do that, and then there's the pictorial way. Pictorially is good, but it doesn't work out if you're doing 16ths or something really bizarre. So again, to figure it out, you take your whole number piece and you multiply it by the denominator. So I've got three whole ones, and I multiply it by 2. So I've got 3 times 2, and then I add the numerator I had at the beginning. This tells me the total number of fractional pieces I have. So 3 times 2 is 6, 6 plus 1 is 7, and I've got 7 over 2. So my answer is 7 over 2. Now I'd like you to pause this and try practice 2. Alright, welcome back. So I'm going to write 2 1/4 as an improper fraction. So it's 2 1/4. And I'm going to just do this without the picture. So I've got 2 whole ones here. So I go 2 times 4. 4 parts make up the whole. 2 times 4 plus I have 1 up top. So I've got 1 there. So this is my 2 full ones. 2 times 4. Those have 8 quarters. And 8 plus 1 gets me 9 total parts. So, since I had it over 4 at the beginning, my improper fraction is 9/4. And so there we go. There's our improper fraction. Now if we're writing 15 over 4 as a mixed number, now this is working backwards. This is an improper fraction, and we have a mixed number. So here we have 15 pieces, and every 4 of them make up a whole one. We're trying to figure out how many whole numbers we have, and then what fraction do we have left over. So when we're doing this, we want to take 15 and really see how many times 4 goes into it. So this is my numerator in here, and my denominator out here. Every 4 makes up a whole one, and I'm trying to figure out how many whole numbers I have, and then how many fractions do I have left. So 4 doesn't go into 1 at all, but 4 goes into 15 3 times. So 4 times 3 is 12. If I have 15 and I take away 12, I've got 3 left over. And so what this means here, this is how many whole pizzas we could have, okay? So if we quartered our pizzas and we had 15 quarters, we could draw here 15 quarters. We put that together, we'd have 3 full pizzas, and we'd have 3 pieces left over. This is our remainder. Now if our remainder here is bigger than 4, we could have taken more away. So this is 3 3/4 if we're writing it as a mixed number. Now we can work backwards to check our work. If we wanted to check it, we'd go, okay, 3 times 4, and then I'm going to add the 3 up top. So 3 times 4 is 12. 12 plus 3 is 15. So that gets me 15 pieces over 4. So it really does work out that 3 3/4 is the same as 15 over 4. Why don't you pause this and try practice 2 now. All right, welcome back. So we're trying to write 11/5 as a mixed number. So I'm going to take 11 and figure out how many times 5 goes into it. Well, 5 doesn't go into 1, but it goes into 11 twice. So 5 times 2 is 10. And I'm going to have 1 left over. So this is going to be 2. And then my 1 left over is going to be 1 over my denominator of 5. So it's 2 1/5. Now if I wanted to check it, I can go 2 times 5 and then add the 1 I have up top here. So 2 times 5 is 10. 10 plus 1 gets me 11. So I have 11 parts, and there's 5 of them that make up a whole. So my answer really is 2 1/5. Now I want to talk to you a little bit about improper and mixed if we have negative numbers. So this throws us off just a tiny bit if we're just doing the pure math part, so we got to pay attention here. If I'm writing -3 2/7 as an improper fraction, then I need to make sure this whole thing is negative. So I'm going to just ignore the negative for a little bit, do the math, and then I'm just going to add the negative back in there. Otherwise it kind of throws things off. So this is -3 2/7. So this is a little bit tough to picture because it's like you're taking away something that doesn't really exist. So the thing to remember, this is going to be a negative answer, so I'm going to ignore it as I do my work. I'm going to just convert 3 2/7 to an improper fraction, just like I have been. So to do that, I go 3 times 7 plus 2. There are 2 parts that make up the whole, or excuse me, 2 left over at the top. So 3 times 7 is 21. 21 plus 2 is 23. So I have 23/7. And this is what I'm talking about when I say just do the math and then add the negative. So I know this is all negative at the start, so I have negative 23/7. Sometimes people go negative 3 times 7, it gets us a negative number, then when we add 2, it gets us less. That's why I say just do the math with the numbers, add that negative at the end. So this is negative 23/7, writing it as an improper fraction. Why don't you pause this and try practice 3 now. All right, we're going to write negative 2 4/5 as an improper fraction. So this is a negative one, so I'm going to concern myself with doing 2 4/5, and then I'm going to make it negative at the end. So there are 5 parts that make up a whole, so I've got 2 times 5 to figure out how many parts are in the 2 units, plus the 4 on the top. So 2 times 5 is 10. 10 plus 4 is 14. So I've got 14 total parts, and my denominator is 5. So I've got 14/5, and then it was negative 2 4/5, so I just put the negative up here with the 14. So I've got negative 14 over 5. That's my final answer. Well, this concludes our lesson on converting between mixed and improper fractions. Thank you for your time.